Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host of the UFC Forecast, and we're back for the early predictions and betting breakdown for UFC 292 in Boston. And the main event, it's a championship fight between Aljamain Sterling and Malley. And in the co-main event, we got Weili Zhang defending the belt against Amanda Lemos. So we got a bunch of good fights on this card at the TD Garden where the Boston Bruins play and the Boston Celtics. And last week I went 8 for 13 on my picks, so I'm going to pull those up. And we're going to go over a quick recap here, starting it off with the prelims. First fight of the night was my lock of the week, Luana Santos. And a lot of people were questioning that lock. I understand it's a women's fight, but she's a real deal, and she's a good prospect that a lot of people are going to have their eye on, like I said. And yeah, she got it done by knockout. I thought it was going to be the submission, but she showed her hands, and they looked pretty good. So she got that one done, lock of the week, round 1. And we had a lot of round 1 finishes, right? Damon Blackshear, round 1. Martin Boudet, round 1. Terrence McKinney, round 1.
It's probing time.
And Marcus McGee was round 1, too. That was plus money, plus 140 on that one. But Jacqueline Amorin, she got the round 3 finish, and I had her as a lock prop in round 1, so I'm sorry for that. I'm going to take a shot here soon for my little fuck-ups last week. On the main card, the fuck-ups, it was Tafon Nchukwi. I thought he was going to be the better fighter. He lost that fight pretty clean to AJ Dobson. He was one of the dogs that cashed in. My underdog of the week, it was Chris Daukaus, and he got smoked by Khalil Roundtree. Terrible, terrible pick by me, so I'm going to bust out the fireball. You guys know I don't like the fireball at all. I like the Pink Whitney. So I'm going to suffer through a shot just like Hakeem Dawood, who suffered that fucking judge's scorecard. That is poison, eh? Cub Swanson should not have won that fight. And I'm going to pull up the stats too. I have them in front of me. On the prelims, I didn't talk about anything because we're going to run through this card pretty fast. But let's look at the scorecard from Hakeem Dawood and Cub Swanson. Hakeem had 129 total strikes versus 100 for Cub Swanson. His significant strikes was 95 against 77. And then the takedowns for Cub, he did have the one takedown, but 1 minute control time. He attempted 2 takedowns, so he was only 50%. And Hakeem had 3 minutes control time up against the fence. Maybe the judges didn't like him stalling, whatever, hesitating. But he wasn't really hesitating. He was just getting that cage control. And I thought he looked pretty good, man. His hands were really good. He really did pick apart Cub Swanson. Cub had way more damage on him and even thought he lost. Like, the post-fight interview, he even said he thought he lost. So, I mean, if the fighter thought he lost and the commentary thought he lost, like, he probably lost. The judges, all 3 of them, had it 29-28. That's absolute highway robbery. And you hate to see that when you have it on parlays and you have your money on it. I understand. So, nothing you can do about that one. In the main event, I had RDA, former champion. I was on the wrong side of that one, but the Patreon members, they had access to this bet that I did make. Vicente Luque by decision, plus 500, and I crushed that one, $20 on it. I wish I put more. That was a good payout, and it paid for all my bets that I didn't hit. It was tough to hit bets at UFC Vegas 78, but we got some vengeance, and especially on the prelims, our Patreon members and forecasters in the Discord, they were showing me their bet wins, and they were doing really good. So I hope everybody joins that Discord. It's absolutely free. You get access to the locks, dogs, and props of the week. And if you want to join Patreon, it's only $5 a month, exclusive and early access to all of our bets. And before we get started with these early predictions, everybody go grab a drink, spark up a blunt. If you don't drink, if you don't smoke, sit back, relax, enjoy, and pray for me, because I hate Fireball. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. And right now, we're only going to be breaking down 10 fights. There's going to be 2 more added. So Mario Bautista, he's waiting on a short notice opponent. Cody Garbrandt pulled out. But whoever Mario Bautista gets put up against, Mario Bautista is going to smoke him. I'm telling you that right now. Inside the distance, he's going to get it done. Because anybody on short notice is going to have a very tough time with Mario Bautista unless he gets some animal. He's probably going to get a winnable matchup and get the job done inside the distance. And the other fight is Brad Katona. He's going to get the winner of the other semifinal in the Ultimate Fighter. Brad Katona's fighting at SBG Ireland. And he's one of Conor McGregor's training partners. Kid's pretty good. Just beat Tamir Valiev in a decision in his semifinal. I'm thinking he's going to get the job done. So we're going to start it off with the main card here. I know some of you probably want me to start with the prelims, first fight of the night. But we're going to start it off with the championship fight, the main event, Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley. And I like Sean O'Malley. He was one of my favorite fighters, most entertaining fighters. But we have to be honest here, in this matchup, this is not a good matchup for him. This is an early push for the belt for him, and the UFC is clearly just using him as marketing. But I don't think he's going to get the job done against Aljamain Sterling, who's going to be the much better wrestler and can get takedowns at ease here. We can't forget that Peter picked up Sean O'Malley in that split decision loss and slammed him to the ground. Aljamain Sterling can probably pick him up as well and slam him to the ground, and he's also going to use his backpack. That's what he does, the human backpack. He's going to get the control time, and I'm thinking it's going to be a finish too. Like, a lot of bad blood between these two guys. Aljamain has a lot of submission wins. He can sink in that rear naked choke. And on the feet, he knocked out TJ Dillashaw, who was hurt, but his hands look pretty good. He has a strong ground and pound. And this guy walks around at like 166, so he cuts a lot of weight. He's ginormous for 135, and Sean O'Malley's going to have some problems in there. I know there's some value in him at plus 200. If it goes the distance, it gets greasy. The judges could give it to him. I was telling the boys, just joking around, Sean O'Malley's going to win that belt, boys. Sean O'Malley's going to win that belt, but... like, honestly, like, he ain't gonna win. There's no fucking way unless the judges give it to him, split decision. And maybe not even a split decision. They could do another 29-28 greasy unanimous decision like Hakeem. But my money will be on Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain Sterling will be my lock of the week. The Funkmaster will get the job done here in Boston. If he beat Henry Cejudo, gold medalist wrestler, he should have no problem with Sean O'Malley unless the judges run in here and rob him. And next up in the co-main event, we got Weili Zhang and Amanda Lemos. And everybody should go follow my TikTok because I made an awesome video of Weili Zhang. This girl's powerful, and she's a force to be reckoned with. She has finished her last couple opponents. Carla Esparza, submission. She knocked out Joanna with that spinning back fist, and she also beat Jessica Andrade, picked apart her. And Andrade fucking beat Amanda Lemos. So that was round one. Andrade showed us that Lemos isn't that high level of a prospect, and she is very beatable. And against Weili Zhang, she probably has no chance. Like, Weili Zhang is so powerful. She's accurate. She's training super hard, and she does not want to lose that belt right now. And I'm thinking they're trying to line up a big fight for her in China. UFC does not want her to lose that belt either, so they're giving her a winnable fight, one that she can get the finish here. I'm super high on Weili Zhang this week, and the Patreon members already have access to some of my bets. She's in a parlay, so join that. It's only $5 a month, exclusive and early access for all my bets. I also have a Platinum Picks and Forecast Forensic, so I'll get that out there right away for this card. It's a big card, and Weili Zhang and Aljamain Sterling are going to be and still. And next up, we got a short notice opponent for Ian Garry, and it's Neil Magny. And Neil Magny has a serious reach advantage in this fight. It's 5 inches, and he has some serious experience too. Other than his losses to Gilbert Burns and Shavkat by submission, he's been winning. By split decisions, by a late round 3 submission to Daniel Rodrigues. But Ian Garry's just like on another level right now. It's hard to bet against him, and the UFC clearly wants this guy to win. And he's looking like the real deal. He finished D-Rod pretty easily, and he was supposed to fight Jeff Neal, who lost to Neil Magny. So, like, this is a pretty tough matchup for him rather than Jeff Neal. But Jeff Neal against Shavkat looked very good. Magny's no stranger at getting takedowns, and that's probably one part of Ian Garry's game that probably can get attacked. And I'm kind of scared for Ian Garry here. I'm waiting for a spot to fade him, and this could be it. But at the price tag and Neil Magny coming in here short notice, I don't think he's going to get it done. But I'm telling you right now, Ian Garry's not on any parlays, and I advise you guys probably not to parlay him. I was talking to someone here on Instagram earlier, and I told him Ian Garry's probably safe. UFC's going to want him to win. He looked phenomenal in his last fight there, so probably is safe to parlay, but I don't think I want to have my money on it. I do like Neil Magny, and I think he's live here as his underdog. A lot of people might think I'm crazy for thinking he's live. Maybe some people agree, but let me know in the comments below if you guys think Neil Magny has a chance in this fight, because I kind of think he does. And next up on the main event, we got an interesting fight between two guys that fought Sugar Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera and Pedro Munhoz. And Marlon Vera actually beat him, but Sean O'Malley rolled his ankle, and then Marlon jumped on the knockout and TKO'd him. But Marlon's super low volume lately, and I can't back him, especially not as a favorite here. I'm looking for an underdog, and I think I found my guy, Pedro Munhoz. He has high volume, he has serious kicks, and he just spoiled my last lock of the week, Chris Gutierrez. Not my last lock of the week, but he spoiled one of my locks of the week, formerly, in Chris Gutierrez, who got knocked down in that fight. Pedro obviously showed he has some power, and Marlon has power as well, but it's coming late. He's usually losing that fight, and then he finds that late knockout. He has 3 rounds to work here, and it's not much time. And I watched Sean O'Malley give his prediction on this fight a couple weeks ago, and he has Pedro Munhoz edging it out by a decision. And I agree, I think Pedro's getting this one done here by a decision. And before we get into the prelims, I know I only broke down 4 fights, but there's one more fight to get added. Bautista will be on the prelims, and he's going to be the play inside the distance, like I said at the start of the show here. But please, smash that like button, suplex the subscribe button, and if you want access to my bets, platinum picks, forecast forensic, join that Patreon. It's only $5 a month. I appreciate that support, and Discord is absolutely free if you want to join that. I post my lock and dog in there early, and I have a prop of the week channel too, and I also have a giveaway channel. So once I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away $500 to one lucky forecaster. We have a bunch of forecasters active in the chat. I appreciate everyone's support and everyone being active. You guys are crushing it, making it rain. I love to see it. Keep posting those bet wins, and I'm going to keep posting videos and help you guys make some money here. Let's keep it going with the prelims here. But first, should I take another shot of Fireball? I guess I will. A Clint McLean special, eh? I don't know how he crushes shots of Fireball. I'll do half a shot. This one's a little bit bigger than last time. Don't judge me. Jeez. Much rather some Pink Whitney, but you guys know I fucking crushed that on the weekend. I'm going to mix some Gatorade with the shot. It's probably a bad idea. Ooh. Not a cinnamon fan. And the prelim headliner, it's going to be Chris Weidman coming back after that brutal leg injury to Uriah Hall. And he's going to be fighting Brad Tavares, who's coming off that knockout loss to Bruno Silva. But he looked good in that fight, I think, before he got knocked out. He almost got the knockout, too. He was thrown with some heat. And this guy went the distance with Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis. And I think in this fight, he's the rightful favorite. He's going to get it done. Chris Weidman's old, but Tavares is getting old as well. He's 35, but he's been more active. Didn't go through a serious injury. And Chris Weidman's chin is very questionable. He has 6 knockout losses. So I'm not backing Chris Weidman as an underdog. I think he probably gets knocked out here in this spot. I might even look to have it in a parlay because it could be a high confidence play for me this week. And next up on the prelims, we got Gregory Robocop Rodrigues against Denis Tiuliulin, the Russian, who's fought at M1, a bunch of good Russians, has a great takedown defense, but Robocop has 100% takedown defense as well. These two guys are going to stand on the feet and bang. It's going to be a banger, absolute war. But Robocop's coming off that brutal knockout punch loss in the first round to the prospect Bruno Ferreira. I had my money on Robocop. I usually do, and I will again here. Denis Tiuliulin, I don't think much of him. He's not that Russian that I like to back. He has 9 knockouts. He has no ground game whatsoever. And his only knockout win was Jamie Pickett. I don't think he has the power to knock out Gregory Rodrigues. And Rodrigues certainly has the power to knock out Denis Tiuliulin. He knocked out Chidi Njokuani after he had a serious cut. He survived, found the knockout shot in round 2. And he knocked out Julian Marquez, no problem, round 1. He also knocked out Jun Park, the guy that just submitted Denis Tiuliulin. And that was in the second round. Gregory Rodrigues has power. He's accurate as well. I think he's going to get the job done here. I forecast Robocop will get back in the win column here. He's training at Killcliff FC, great gym. And Denis Tiuliulin's absorbing 6 strikes a minute. Expect him to look like a human punching bag in this fight. And next up, we got the Ultimate Fighter finale in the lightweight division between Austin Hubbard and Kurt Holobaugh. And there's no odds on this one yet. But I have a strong opinion on this one. I've been watching the series like everybody else probably has. And do you guys think Kurt Holobaugh looks fucking phenomenal or what? He's super hungry. I know he's 0-3 when he was in the UFC. But he's a dog. He had a tough run when he was in the UFC. He fought Raoni Barcelos, got knocked out late in the 3rd round. He got submitted to Shane Burgos, no shame in that. And then he went the distance with Thiago Moises. Those are 3 good losses. When you look at the side of Austin Hubbard, he's a little bit cleaner. He lost to Mark Madsen, Vince Bickel by decision, and he has a submission loss to Joe Selecki. So this guy's not taking too much punishment. He had an easy semifinal against Roosevelt Roberts, and it was a split decision. I think Kurt's going to hurt him in this fight, just beat Jason Knight by a knockout punch in round 2. He was picking apart Jason Knight in that fight, and Jason Knight had a pretty good UFC run. I thought Jason Knight might be a potential winner here, and Kurt Holobaugh knocked him out. That was one of the best fights they've seen on The Ultimate Fighter, and like I said, this guy's a dog. He wants to get back in the UFC. I think he's getting it done. And I'm hoping the forecasters can get some plus money on Kurt Holobaugh. He is 5 years older. The public could be on the side of Austin Hubbard, but I don't think he's going to get it done. I think Holobaugh's too hungry and he's going to use Hubbard as a chew toy. And next up, we have a middleweight clash between two grapplers, Andre Petroski, who does have 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He can do a bit of both against Gerard Meerschaert. And this guy's just going for that Hail Mary sub. I'm telling you that right now. He's just going for that Hail Mary sub. He's going to pull a guillotine. He's going to go for fucking a triangle, rear naked choke, anything he can fucking get, because that's all he can do here. Andre Petroski's game plan is going to be the takedowns and control time. He took Wellington Turman down at ease, 5 out of 8 takedowns, I believe. And he also submitted a grappler, Nick Maximoff. This guy can avoid the submission attempts, I believe, and he can get the job done either by a decision or by a finish. I really like what I'm seeing from this guy with the 75% takedown defense and the 55% striking accuracy. I'll be betting on Petroski's well-rounded game versus the one-dimensional game plan of Gerard Meerschaert, because Gerard Meerschaert was my underdog before, and he looked like fucking shit. Joe Pyfer knocked him out clean. Khamzat Chimaev knocked him out clean. Those are serious prospects, but on the feet he has nothing to offer. Petroski probably can get the knockout here quite easily if that's what he wants to do. But the takedowns, he's relentless with them, and he's not going to get submitted. He's going to win this fight, and I'm looking to parlay him this week. Super high confidence play. Andre Petroski's getting this one done. And next up, we're going to close off the predictions with 2 Silvas. The first one, Natalia Silva, against Andrea Lee. And Andrea Lee's 360, I think that's a little bit wild because she had a split decision with Macy Barber. I thought she won that fight, and I actually bet on her. I had her as my underdog of the week, I believe, as well. I was pretty confident she was going to win that fight. She was also priced as a big underdog. 3 out of 6 of her losses come by split decision. She has a split decision to Macy in her last one. And then Lauren Murphy split decision, Joanne Wood split decision. She has a lot of good experience and she's hard to finish. 6 losses come by decision, only the 1 submission loss in 2016 in Invicta. I really like Natalia Silva in this spot, and I really do like her by finish, but I don't know if I want to waste my money on it. That's the thing. Like, Andrea Lee's tough. She has a 4-inch reach advantage in this fight as well. She has that knockout win over Cynthia Calvillo. Like, the experience favors Andrea Lee 100%. She's a huge underdog in this spot. I don't love that. And if Andrea Lee is going to get finished, it's going to be when she starts to get a bit older. So she's pushing 35 right now. She's fighting a 26-year-old prospect with a great takedown defense, 92%, who can get the submission, can get the knockout, can win the fight either way it goes. You have to make her the pick. And on Friday, I might even be telling you to put her in a parlay. And next up, we're going to go over the other Silva. And unfortunately, both these Silvas are huge favorites. A lot of people will have them in parlays, but Karine Silva and Mayra Moroz fought before, and Moroz submitted her first round. A lot of people might skip past that. It's way down there. It was in 2014. But Moroz knows what to do in this fight, and she can easily win it. She's a 230 underdog, and I studied this fight for a little bit. I was going to make her my underdog, but I am picking both Silvas to win right now, but by any means, it's not with high confidence. Karine has that 100% finish rate. She finished her last 7 opponents, but they're all winnable fights for her. Set up fights, in my opinion. She hasn't faced too much adversity, in my opinion, and Moroz, on the other hand, has. She has that decision loss to Jennifer Maia, Angela Hill, Carla Esparza. She's not going to get finished in this fight, probably, and Karine Silva has that 100% finish rate, so... And there's tons of value in Moroz in this spot. Unfortunately, I do like the Silvas, but on Friday, I might have to switch my pick on this one. Moroz has that decision win against Mayra Buena Silva, who's pretty high up there in the division right now. She also has a decision win against Sabina Mazo. And then she submitted Karine Silva in 2014. She has that edge over already. She's an underdog in this spot. I think people might get caught losing some money on one of the Silvas, and this could be the one that slips up. And don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't yet. Suplex that subscribe button, because once we hit 500 subscribers, I'll give away $500 in my Discord. One lucky forecaster will win $500. But it's going to be in Canadian. I forgot to say that. It's going to be Canadian dollars. I'm Canadian, eh? And if you want to join our Patreon, it's only $5 Canadian too. Exclusive early access to all my bets this week and each and every week. And I also have a Platinum Picks Forecast Forensic. And the forecasters have been making it rain. So I hope to see you guys in the comments, in Discord, on Patreon. And I'll see you on Friday for the final prediction show. Cheers, everybody. I'll do one more shot before I go of this dirty ass